something I'm very excited about today because the killings that are going on in Benue are going on unabated. Killings go on, and then we just keep playing politics. People are not speaking out, mainly because they are allied to one faction or the other in terms of what is happening in Benue. The Some people are allied to Governor Hyacinth earlier, others are allied to different personalities. But that's not my main worry. My worry is that it seems like the Benue issue is of no consequence to anyone. I mean, same like what happened in Plateau, what happened in Kaduna even gained some traction, but it's like since they left Kaduna, they've descended further on Benue and Plateau State, and even Taraba is getting a hot pinch of it. But Benue is at the epicenter of the crisis, and then those in the media in Benue seem to be either compromised on the one hand because they don't want to report it, or if you know the structure of Benue that is very civil service oriented, you can also understand with the media because most media people don't want to be isolated. There's the fear of isolation because your main patronage is coming from the government. And if the government says nothing is happening, nothing is happening. If the government says we can't fund your travels to a certain location, it's a done deal. You can't investigate as much as you really want to. What is happening today in Benue is revealing a lot about the structure of the Nigerian society. You wonder whether the government is actually the one responsible for what is happening, because at every point now, killings happen. They've happened in Otobi, they've happened in Okpamaju, they've happened in Apa severally, they've happened in Ukum, in Sankara Axis, in so many locations, and no assailant is being arrested. None is killed. None is arrested. Nothing happens whatsoever. These people make phone calls. They utilize all the networks. They never get touched. They never get arrested. They kidnap people for ransom, collect huge amounts for ransom. Nothing happens. But look at what happened in Benue today. I'm going to tell you about that because the very dark man is in Benue, and if you go in the social media timelines, there's a lot happening concerning very dark man's visit to the location, Yelewata, where killings happened a lot yesterday, just last night. If you watch the video clips, you will see that very dark man was visiting different houses with members of the community, viewing the charred remains of human beings that were burnt down last night. And here they will say 20 people, 40 people, 15 people, 5 people, 4 people. And just a rough estimate, you know that these figures are already more than 100 people. But what do we hear? The BBC is reporting 40, and it's understandable. There's nothing else they can say. They have to say it's 40 because that's probably what the government wants them to say. But is the government against the people? A lot of things are beginning to make people almost come to that conclusion. The attacks on Agan. Agan is five. If you're going to Benue and you've passed Lafia and this Yelewata where these attacks happened yesterday, if you come to the toll gate area, Agan is just like 5 kilometers and from all the biggest military installations in Benue. Benue hosts the Nigeria Army School of Military Engineering, hosts 72 division barracks with military men, hosts the NAF base, the Nigerian Air Force base, so many military installations in Benue. Not a single response as people were running and gunshots were raging last week. Now, we still have this continuously going on. The killings in Okpamaju, the killings in Apa, they continue every time. Not one of the assailants gets killed. Now, fast forward to today. Today, this is Sunday, the 15th of June, and the people come out to protest the killings that are going on unabated. And what you then see is the same helicopter that never went out to chase after anyone. The same helicopter, all of a sudden, is out now, flying, hovering over the protesters at Urukun roundabout, hovering everywhere. Meanwhile, that same helicopter that could have flown about 30 kilometers away to search for the invaders, that never happens. It's going over the peaceful protesters who are not shooting, who are not doing anything. The same people that we are talking about started shooting tear gas at the protesters today. And we are hearing that some of the vocal people on social media in Benue have been kidnapped in their hotels today. Well, that's unverified, but that's some information we hear. Now, a lot of these things are a cause for concern, and I'm getting worried that I'm contributing to the silence, and I'm just putting these issues out there. Today, I went on the social media page of Teso Kula, the press secretary to the governor, and this is his response to. This is the governor's supposed response to the killings at Yelewata. I'll read it out for those who might not be able to see my screen, either because you're driving or however, whatever point you are. Please share this video. I want to keep this going. I want people to hear about what is happening in Benue. Not because I have any answers. I'm not calling you out to do anything at the moment, but just awareness. So you have the government of Benue State press statement. Governor Alia condemns Yelewata massacre, describes it unnecessary bloodbath. Sunday, June 15, 2025. Governor Hyacinth Yomem Alia has condemned in strong terms the attacks and massacre of innocent citizens at Yelewata by suspected criminal headers, saying nothing should warrant taking of life. Deputy Governor of the state, Barrister Sam Ode, who visited the scene of the heinous act earlier today on the directives of the governor, delivered the message, saying the governor is not resting on his oars to ensure the state experiences peace. He says, Governor Hyacinth Alia acknowledges and shares in your pains. This is the quote now. He says, in quotes, Governor Hyacinth Alia acknowledges and shares in your pains and grief caused by these attacks on your community by the criminal elements suspected to be armed herdsmen. The state government is consistently engaging with the federal security agencies, traditional rulers, community leaders, and relevant stakeholders to strengthen security interventions and provide lasting solutions to these persistent attacks. We assure you that technical teams have started arriving to Benue from the federal government, and additional security deployments are being arranged for vulnerable areas. Response squad teams are also deployed and will be in Benue from Sunday. Strategic community dialogues are ongoing to enhance active intelligence sharing. The state's joint operations units are being strengthened, and government will not relent in its utmost commitment to defending the lives and properties of all residents. In the spirit of peace and unity, we call on religious, traditional, and political leaders across the state to sensitize and guide the youths under their influence against unlawful gatherings or confrontations that may spiral out of control. We appeal to the public to make use of official communication channels to report any suspicious activities and stay informed through credible sources. Benue State remains committed to justice, peace, and security for all. Chief Press Secretary to the Governor. Now, you see how worrisome this conversation instantly becomes. Just last week, the Chief of Army Staff was in Benue and publicly told everyone that he had relocated to Benue, or the government told us that they've relocated to Benue, and he was taking charge of the security himself. Now, this also is alongside the often publicized notion that the governor has no control of the security agencies. He cannot deploy them, he cannot command them, he can do nothing. And I've always said this is a very disingenuous argument, because when you say the governor cannot do all of those, whenever it's in the interest of the governor, either in terms of rigging elections, and I'm not talking of just Governor Alia, most of the governors, they work very well with the police to manipulate elections in the directions they want. They work very well with the military to respond in any direction they want. And we can see that example of that today. There is protests in Makurdi, and the governor does not want that protest to hold because of various reasons. He thinks that the opposition is trying to use the protest to instigate the president to institute a state of emergency in Benue. So he doesn't want that to hold. All of a sudden, the Air Force helicopter can fly. We don't know if the governor ordered that, but whoever ordered that helicopter, why that helicopter could not fly to go to Yelewata or go to Naka or go to Otukpo or go to different places within Benue, we can't understand. And if the governor did not order that, it's in his place to ask why there's a sudden deployment of these tools that could have been used to attack the ones who are killing people in Benue. If the governor, who is supposed to be the chief security officer, the chief law officer, the chief security officer of Benue, cannot ask these questions, the questions should be asked of him. And of course, we should say the same thing to the secretary to the government of the federation, who we know has a lot of influence in Benue. He was a governor of Benue. He was a senator. He was he has a lot of influence. So if his silence has been because he does not want to be in continuous conflict with the governor, is he the one now ordering the helicopters? Is he able to ask the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria whether these helicopters were now being deployed under his authorization? And if they are being deployed with his authorization, is it that they are to stop the people, peaceful protesters, from protesting, while the same helicopters are unable to respond when the people are being killed in huge numbers? The numbers are crazy. The numbers, how people are being killed in Benue, is crazy. I don't know. Let me move away. Maybe we should read the comments on Tese Kola's posts. You know, people are asking the critical questions already. The deputy governor of the state, Barrister Sam Ode, who visited the scene of the heinous act earlier today for a Sunday, June 15th statement on a visit of Saturday, 14 June, you know, the author, I mean, so there are lots of inconsistencies, and one wonders whether there is a real interest in helping the situation in Benue. When you go even to the statement itself, you know, you are seeing a governor who is unwilling to visit the scenes of the massacre himself, to show high-level commitment, high-level emotional connection to the issue. We've seen this all over. It took a long time for him to visit Naka, and then he visited Otukpo. He stayed in the Ochidoma's palace when, just a week before, the attacks in Opamaju and Otobi had just taken place. He neither visited the locations, did nothing. He has not visited Apa, and so many places that are being attacked in Zone C. So, and these attacks are not just mere attacks, only burning and looting. They are killing human beings. They are making farmers unable to go to farms. They are sending letters threatening to come back and kill the people. And nothing gets done. A simple drone can comb areas that ordinary citizens cannot. And you know these attacks are being coordinated, well coordinated, using technology, using phones. Nothing is being done to track the phones and shut down any lines. And they continue. Since January alone, there have been a lot of killings in Benue. All right. Now, look at the statement here that says the governor is not resting on his orders, that the government is assuring citizens that more tactical teams are arriving to Benue from the federal government, and additional security deployments are being arranged for vulnerable areas. At this point, it's scary when you hear this kind of statements. Now, this is at least 1 week after the Chief of Army Staff said he had redeployed to Benue. And yet, a statement is being released on Sunday, 15th, today. And it says teams are being expected. No date. I mean, we don't expect you to tell us operational dates, but we expect that the same way helicopters can respond immediately, protests started today. Why is it that with all the killings that have gone on since January, since 2023, and all of that, we are not seeing the kind of military deployments and the expedited action? This should not look like I'm just blaming the governor alone, because it's the fragmented nature of Benue politicians, the elite in Benue, that is responsible for all what you are seeing. There's no united front to confront the insecurity in Benue. Those in the PDP are in constant fight against those in the APC. And then within the APC, there's fragmentation. There's the Akume group. There's the Alia group. Within those, there are so many factions. Within the PDP, there's the Otom group. There's the Suswam group, and so many other factions in there. How do you run a state where not even common interests can bring you together? What kind of politics is this? For those of you who are looking at me, who are politicians, or if you are aide to politicians, talk to your principals. They have no state anymore. In a very few, just in a very short time, there's no state that is going to be left for you guys to fight over. And you are not going to be able to go into Taraba. You're not going to be able to go into Enugu State. You are not going to be able to go into Kogi State. You're not going to be able to go into Nasarawa State. So you will have no state. So this tough war that you are fighting, that you say you are loyal to this party or that party, or you are loyal to this governor or that secretary to the government of the federation, or this former governor Otom or former governor Suswam, it's rubbish. It's rubbish. There's nothing. It's so short-sighted because you think you have everything, but you have nothing. Because all the mansions you have built abroad that is giving you confidence is going to amount to nothing in a short while if we don't rise up and protect our people and our land. It's annoying that when you think of politicians, you think of selfish interests, and you say enlightened self-interests, so you say they can easily come together. You can see maybe Elon Musk will insult a Trump, and then all of a sudden they all realize that they are going to lose, and then they come together and build a common front to chase some enemies, and then go back to their terrain to fight themselves again, something like that. But you don't see this among Benue politicians. They want to fight to the death. They want to carry women. They want to chase somebody's wives, people's wives, as vengeance. What kind of base human instinct is this? This is just, when Nnamdi Kanu calls Nigeria a zoo, the only place that I want to liken to that nomenclature is what is happening in Benue, where anything goes. Anything goes in the name of I'm fighting this political opponent. For those of you loyal to the secretary to the government of the federation, tell him it's a shame. It's a shame, Senator George Akume, it's a shame that you are there at the federal level and you are not able to work with the governor. And the governor too, Governor Alia, it's a shame that you continue this fight despite the Totiv, Professor Ayate has called you both to sheathe your swords. Whatever is in between, you are supposed to come together. So it's just sad, really, when you see that this human ego is all what is carrying Benue down, down, down. Come to the social media influencers. You influencer with your data, mobile data that somebody is just paying you, data boys, data girls, to just go and essentially sell your land. You can, all what I'm saying now, the data boys are soon going to descend on my timeline to say Alia is working, or to say Akume is working. It's only Alia that is a problem. They both are the problem, and more of us in Benue, those who are silent, those of us who are not allied to anyone, who have been silent. I have been silent because I see Mediolotu doing the good work he's doing. But what do? We only say thank you to him, we only share his videos, but that's not all that there is to be done. There's a lot that is to be done to make sure. Benue is having a whole media blackout of some sort. Okay, look at, this is the video.
I didn't know they were protesting. I swear that on my mother. I only went there to make a video to publish. Why? It's because I have noticed
This is
that our media in Nigeria, they no longer report the news. Before, when things happened about 12, 13 years ago, we see it on the TV. But nowadays, we don't see them again. It's almost as if it is controlled, so that they will not see it. Do you understand? That is why I came. But now that I made this protest, let me tell you something.
so you can hear very dark man.
I don't protest tire for this country. They don't arrest me tire. They don't give me tire. We love Nigeria, that's why we are here.
Yeah.
Insecurity is making a lot of us jobless. How? Because of insecurity, investors will not come to this place. You people cannot farm. When I went to this local government, they had a crop with the birds. They bought rice, they bought everything. The man was crying, I had to remove money. You understand? I said, take, not because the money can clear his tears, but it's just something to say, Ross, not to cry. Do you understand? Understand this. Now we are on the street telling the government that, please, do something about this insecurity. Since when they bomb me, bros, I swear to God, I don't hear about Benue killing nobody today. It's a time for it to end. But it will not end like what we are doing now. Let me tell you why. You see everything you are doing now? You don't do a tire. Government no hear them. You know why? No. Because they are always waiting for you to burn one thing so that they can use that reason to scatter you.
Yeah. I agree with very dark man, by the way.
Anymore. We want to talk. We want you to listen. They say before they listen, we also have to assure them that they will listen to us peacefully. So the only way they can listen to us now, we'll clear the road. When we clear the road, we go back to them. We tell them the demand. Do you understand? Then the CP will now assure us that, okay, give us a day. We'll make sure there's security. Now, this is what will happen. If we give them a day, security to come day, we can't come back and do the full madness. For now, I beg, let's just give them this opportunity let them hear. This has not happened yesterday. And also,
so you can see all the thing that is happening.
Anything they collected from you, I will try to get it. Anybody they arrested, I will talk them to release them. Let me bust your head. Okay, sir. This one right in the block. talk. The governor will come out. There will be a helicopter to go. You know who it affects? Now one brother, one sister, when one go to small business, come to feed the family.
That's all.
You understand?
That's all.
You still know me say no go affect them. Because they make money from the state. And by blocking the road, we also not make money. But that's not what we want. Let's relate to them. We want a peaceful protest. First. We will do a peaceful protest, no problem.
Get to government house.
Wait, for a peaceful protest. But today, we'll go back. Go and meet them. We'll talk. We'll listen to the commissioner. And then we'll end this conversation.
All right. So that's Very Dark Man helping to demobilize the protesters. Some people called me and said that's not a good strategy, that maybe he's been sent by the government to, turn people around. And why is he getting protection? How does he move from Abuja through Yelewata and all those places? I mean, those are valid conspiracy theories, if I would say. Valid questions, not like conspiracy theories. They are valid questions to ask. That's fine. But you can see that there is utmost willingness by the people to be peaceful, but nobody properly engages them. And they engage them and essentially trick them. Let me check the Benue killings so that we see the information that we have. So a lot of people.
So this Very Dark Man going to address the police. Yes, addressing the police. Yeah, so this Dark Man addressing the police to calm down. These are the police trucks.
So why am I'm doing this video, like I said, because there isn't much news about what's happening in Benue. We need to talk some more, because Benue historically has been the bulwark, for protecting the south and even the north, And if you remember, during the Civil War, even the bridge at River Benue, the bridge was bombed, because of all the attempts to bridge that communication. Okay. This is Very Dark Man going to the various locations. Yeah.
Five persons, yeah. Yes. 5 persons.
No.
Oh shit.
So these are images of the homes that the killings happened in and Very Dark Man was there himself today to see. These are fresh killings. No helicopter has combed the area. The people disappear to go and attack another community again. So they are going to different sites within Yelewata community, and they are showing him the different places where killings happen within the community. I remember where he's going to now is where some of the one man who is supposed to be one of the richest men in the community, he wasn't killed, but I think his brother was killed, and he runs. There's so much, a lot of losses happening in Benue as a result of this, and then just nothing happens to the killers. Nothing. One wonders why this continues to happen, and why the silence. Please, could you share this video? The reason I'm asking is just to get more and more people aware that we can do something. We can compel the governor to act. We can compel the security agencies to act. They've lied for too long. They've lied for too long. I mean, if you say the chief of army staff has relocated to Benue, where is he now in the light of this attack? Where was he when the attacks on Agan were happening? Where was he in terms of response? Where the questions are too many. The questions are really too many. The questions are too many. No state governor gets a commissioner of police if the governor does not approve of the commissioner of police. But when it's time to deploy them in the interest of the people, the governors say we have no control of the commissioner of police. But to deploy that same commissioner of police to your state, you have to approve of their coming, of their deployment. Even though it's in a federal position, their presence in your state is approved by you. There are a lot of lies that we can puncture in the workings of Nigeria if we ask the right questions, if we put one on one together. If you are from Benue, please, I want you to tell me what your observations are. Because in general, it seems like I'm trying to check, it's like someone posted something. Did someone post something? Let me see, just to be sure. I thought I saw a comment. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Okay, I don't think there's a comment. Right. All right, so these are the places where killings have taken place in Benue. What are the solutions? Do I have an answer? Do I know exactly what the solutions should be? Not sure, not certainly, but I can hint at a lot of things. One is related to how we as a people behave. We tend to let everything to happen from the government, which in itself is a problem. We have to become more active citizens. We have to also make the governments know that our voice matters. You know, our opinions matter. Um, as a people, we believe that if our son is in power, then that's all it is for us. There are security reports that show attacks are going to happen in different places. Those security reports come and the killings happen. No obstacles to the killings. And then the people are left in the lurch just like that. We have to become more active. People, and when we say become active, where are even the social sanctions? People come late, they come to church, we hail them. All the people that we know that are stealing our monies, they come. We hail them in the churches and mosques. We give them pride of place. We call them all sorts of glorious names. I'm glad that in certain communities, they are already chasing away the governors. Even in Benue, and this morning, the deputy governor was chased away. Citizens have to become more active. We have to become more active. That's the obvious, the obvious things that need to happen. We have to become more active. We also have to become more organized. You see, the fragmentation as a result of the first issue is becoming more glaring as a problem to all of us, where everybody, if we're allied to one politician, we believe that that politician is right. But if we are an organized group and we tell that politician this is what we want, even if individuals from within us are trying to go to go support that politician against the wishes of the collective, it's less likely to be effective. So we need to become more and more organized. Where are the youth groups? Where are the age grades? Where are the farmers groups? And they should become organized to the level of protecting themselves. We need to do that. So now in communities that cannot go to farm because each individual farmer is likely to be killed, what do we do now? Shouldn't the farmers themselves become protectors of themselves, carry themselves in groups to this man's farm today, farm with him today, move in group to this other one's farm, this other one's farm? In any case, doing that as a group gives you greater results and faster results anyway. So it's an advantage for security and it's an advantage even for productivity. We have to do that. We have to get people who have community orientation involved in government. That's the third point. Because this idea of people resident in Abuja, resident in Lagos, coming to just take over positions and rule over us from those locations, these things have to stop. They have to stop. We have to recognize that we are the ones who have control of what we want for ourselves, and we should put in the saddle those who can make, who understand the issues and can make those issues come to pass. Those desires of yours come to pass. So those are three things that I would say: organizing ourselves better, becoming more active in politics, selecting people that really represent our issues and our wishes. Enough of this desire of a messiah, looking for messiah everywhere, looking for a clergyman and say because maybe he has been performing miracles, he's going to be the one that will defend us. Enough of this. Enough of this following of Abuja politicians who are also mute, who do nothing about the issues going on in Benue, except talk about them in self-serving ways. Enough of this. We have to make this to stop. And it's our choice. We as the people, it's our choice to make it stop. We have to become more active, more vigilant, more engaged with our civic responsibilities. So before I go, I'm going to again formally call on the Senator Odinde, Senator Titus Zam, Senator Abamoro, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, the Governor Alia. You guys must find a way to meet. The common ground is that you are only what you are in the name of Benue. Every position you are occupying them in the name of Benue. Even as Secretary to the Government of the Federation. When it's written, when Tinubu writes his appointees, he's saying that this position went to Benue, and therefore certain things cannot come to Benue because Benue already has this position. So whether your position is at the federal level, you are holding it because we are identified as someone from Benue. And if that Benue is being lost because there are attacks on the Sankara axis, the attackers, the terrorists, because I don't call them headsmen, they are terrorists. They don't have heads of cattle. They come at night with arms and kill people. That's the work they are doing. They are not headsmen. And people should stop saying this headsmen, farmer-header clashes thing, because it's annoying. There's no farmer-header clash in Benue at the moment. We knew what farmer-header clashes were. So anyway, these groups of people have sent voice messages. They have sent messages that they have encampments for Zone A, they have encampment for Zone C, they have encampment for Zone B. The troops, well arranged, and they are already systematically conducting these killings. Now, Governor Alia, you have only Makurdi to yourself. Naka, which is the next location within Gwe West, is gone. Makurdi, they've killed from Yelewata in Guma local government. They've entered Agan in Makurdi. They've come everywhere. They've entered this other community near University of Agriculture. They've done everything. So essentially, it's only the River Benue that separates you from them now. We cannot be thinking that we still have a Benue. The attacks in Apa is chasing everyone. They are coming through the rivers, through River Benue and all of that, bringing a lot of people through the river and attacking. So we don't have many parts of Zone C within the government control. In my next conversation, I'm going to draw a map of Benue, because I drew at that map. I'm going to draw a map of Benue and show how literally most parts of Benue have been taken over. The attacks have gone everywhere systematically. They've taken over. So what states do you have that you still have the time to bicker and say, this person is the problem? Where Governor Alia is saying Abuja politicians are the problem, and Abuja politicians, Senator Abamoro and all the politicians, issued a statement, held a press conference to say to denounce Alia. You see, I'm not at all saying nobody is wrong or has done any wrong. They have all done wrong. You Abamoro and all of that, you have your own wrongs too. My. I'm looking for that press conference they issued. They made last week, in response to Alia's statement. Is this the one? No. Anyway, so these politicians, you all need to come together. You need to do what you need to do. Sheath your swords. If you need to go with the Totiv, go with the Ochidoma, and then try to come under the aegis of their platforms to do what needs to be done. That should be done. But you cannot sit and be pointing at the accusing finger at each other. Of course, Governor Alia, you have a big role to play in this. The state belongs to you. You are the chief security officer at this moment. So if you want to make it very hot for them to not be able to enter the state, it is going to be difficult for them. So you have a lot to do. But they themselves, when Alia brings the olive branch, if Alia wields the olive branch, you, Senator Abamoro, Senators Titus Zam, Senator Udende, you all have to accept the olive branch, sit together. And this has to happen this week. Senator Akume, I'm calling on you. This has to happen this week. You have to all find ways, sheathe your swords, forgive all grievances temporarily to be able to have a Benue that you will fight over. Because right now you are fighting over something that does not exist. Benue right now is going extinct. The governor is just presiding over a very small enclave at the moment. And he himself knows it. No one can sleep in Zone C right now. No one can also sleep in the Sankara axis. No one can sleep in the Ushongo and all the Ukum areas right now. So, I have nothing more to say. I would love to be able to wish you all a happy Father's Day. I'm saying happy Father's Day in advance when you play the roles of fathers of Benue. I've called on 5 of you. Before I'll talk of those of you in the House of Reps, like my president of the Martin Gabriel's Old Boys Association worldwide, who is a member of the House of Representatives. He has a lot to do to rally because you are an architect. You are a peace builder. We have seen what you've done at different levels. You can call the members of the House of Reps together. Honorable Ojema, you also have a role to play. Happy Happy Father's Day. Sad Father's Day. Like I said, this Happy Father's Day is in advance. Play the roles of fathers of Benue, and I will ensure that this Happy Father's Day is a real Happy Father's Day. For now, most people in Benue are not happy. Your children are not happy. I cannot, in all honesty, wish you a Happy Father's Day. So I'll stop here and wish you a good time as you all find a common ground in Benue, in the peace of Benue.